Hi, Brian. I know I see you practically every morning dropping the kids off at school, but it still gives me great pleasure to recognize you as the 2026 PCDS Alum of the Year. For decades, we've been conferring this award on our most outstanding alums across the country, and it is such a thrill to add your really deserving name to this list. You have made a dynamic impact on our school and on all the communities that you touch. We are proud of you, we salute you, and go Eagles.
I started at PCDS in 4th grade. My parents ripped me out of Cochise Elementary School away from all my friends and threw me into this new school where I knew one person, ironically Doug Loback, and never turned back after that. Academics weren't the most important thing to me when I was here. I cared more about sports, friends, and girls. Those were the top 3 things to me. And now looking back on it, that was such an important part of being here for all those years and developing and growing in a safe and loving and nurturing community. The academic teachers, Dr. Allison, Mr. Martin, Mr. Hendrickson, even though I never actually took classes with him, he was my advisor senior year, and miss him dearly to this day. PCDS was very important, developing me as not just as a person, not just intellectually, but just setting goals and expectations, but being around self-motivating people who just want to do well and do good for the community. It really kind of set the bar for me for my life, and that's now what I do. I mean, that's all I care about, is just trying as hard as I can, working as hard as I can. I made a lot of good friends in college and in law school, but my closest friends are my high school and middle school friends. At PCDS, I was involved in a lot of different things. I played sports, starting in 5th grade, flag football and soccer and basketball and baseball. In high school, varsity basketball and varsity baseball all 4 years. I think my greatest contributions came in the non-athletic realm of starting male cheerleading at PCDS for Blue and Gold Day, starting the dodgeball club. I think those are my true legacies. I did student government. After I graduated from PCDS, I went to Brandeis University. After college, I needed to get back to sunshine and some good weather, so I went to law school in Orange County, California at Chapman University. Graduated law school from there and then moved back to Arizona. And I've been practicing medical malpractice and personal injury law since then. Matt Kudo came to PCDS freshman year as a new student. From the minute Matt got here, he and I hated each other. We were not friends, we did not get along. We were both very jealous of each other. I was far more jealous of him than he was of me. But over time, as we did mature a little bit, we became very good friends. Matt was someone that had a lot of layers to him and was very deep. We had a really strong connection, being able to emote and share feelings that I think a lot of high school boys don't feel comfortable talking about. Matt never had a problem with that, and that made me feel like I could share as well. He and I became very close friends sophomore and junior year, and unfortunately when he passed away, we were not friends anymore. It's not that I didn't care about him, and it's not that he didn't care about me, but we just had kind of grown apart. And I think that's one of my big regrets in life, is that I didn't try harder to stay with that friendship and to let him know how much I did care about him and how much he meant to me. And when he passed away, there were a lot of unresolved emotions because I never got to say goodbye to him. And so after I graduated college, Tracy Guerin had told me about the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And so I became involved with that. And being in that organization on the board of directors and being around people who have suffered similar losses, it really established almost another community for me, where I felt like I fit in and that no one cared what your relationship was. It was just that you suffered a loss. And from that, I kind of developed the ability in terms of the willingness to talk about it more. And so for the last, I think 15 or 16 years, I've been coming back to PCDS, talking to the 8th graders about Matt's story, about suicide prevention and awareness, about my personal loss, the loss of our class, who Matt was, and why it was so devastating to us, because it was such a preventable loss. But none of us knew. None of us knew what to do or what to look out for. And so keeping Matt's memory alive has been very important to me. One of the things I talk to the 8th graders about every year is managing not only their stress, but balancing everything in their lives. Talking to these 8th graders who are far more mature than we were in 8th grade, have just as many things going on in their lives. Hopefully they can process it all so they can recognize when things are changing and they can call it out and nip it in the bud before it gets bad. What I'm most proud of in life is something that I can't and won't even take full credit for or even partial credit for. My wife, Amy, and I have raised 3 great kids. They are just so caring and empathetic, smart and funny. Seeing them succeed and just be good humans is more than I could have ever asked for. I am a very, very lucky person. I'm not sure I deserve it all, but that's what I'm proudest of in life.
He's been coming to PCDS for the last probably 15 years to really make an impact on the well-being and mental health of our students. So he spends time every single year coming into my 8th grade YO classes, and he shares his knowledge and his personal experience losing a friend to suicide. And he does it in an incredible way, making it really understandable and relatable to students. Depression and suicide is not always an easy thing to talk about for most people, and he just does it in a way that the students know they can leave knowing more about warning signs, and they know how to help a friend and how important it is to help a friend. And I can't tell you how many times that students have come in and wanted to continue the conversation with me, or look out for how to support a friend or even get help for themselves. So I've watched it every single year, the impact that Brian has, and even students in high school and college will come back and they talk about Brian's talk being one of the most impactful experiences that they had in middle school, and I'm eternally grateful to Brian for that. I absolutely believe he has had made a life-saving difference in our community, and I continue to hear that year after year. I truly believe that Matt Kudo's memory lives on because of Brian Snyder every year.
Losing Matt was something that we couldn't have expected, but he was always so big, and his presence was always felt so much, and whether it be at school or in people's lives. And so his loss, just really was present and felt in every inch of the PCDS quad and in our lives. What I've admired so much about you is that pain that you have felt and that loss, what you've actually done with it. You haven't just carried it with you, but you've used it to help other people and to try to impact other people's lives. Going back to PCDS year after year and speaking to students and trying to impact lives and change lives is so amazing. But it also is just such a reflection of who you are and speaks to you as a person.
I've known Brian since I was 3 years old, I believe. We played on every sports team and went to elementary school together. And when I started here in 3rd grade, he was still at our previous school. And so for 1 year, I was the ruler of the school in terms of sports. Won every track and field, everything. It was the greatest year of my life. And then Brian said he was coming to PCDS. And I was very excited for that because he was my best friend. And then I was number 2 from then on out. Late 90s sports in early 2000s at Phoenix Country Day. 155-pound average boys playing against much larger men, getting our asses kicked constantly. Baseball, basketball, and Brian was the captain of all those teams, so we can blame him.
Brian was a star. I mean, he dedicated himself to our athletic program, and it was just wonderful to see him progress and grow as a young man when he was playing basketball and baseball for us. In basketball, he was a leader. Everyone looked to Brian to come forward and help us out when we were having rough times. He cared about the other players on the team. He made them better. He just by his attitude and his skill level, he was like another coach out there, to be honest. He has just done a wonderful job carrying that same athletic traits that he had when he was playing sports for us, and now he has it in his adult life. 25 years later, he still has that same positive attitude.
Hey Brian, congratulations. Quite the banner year for you with PCDS Alumni of the Year as well as induction into the Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations on both of those. I'm talking to you from Techwood Studios here in Atlanta, home of the MLB on TBS as well as inside the NBA. And I can confidently say, after years of playing sports with you, that this is the closest either you or I will get to Major League Baseball or the NBA. I do want to take a moment, though, and congratulate you and say I appreciate all the work you've done honoring Matt's memory over the years, spreading that message that no one's ever alone, there's always someone there to help. I appreciate that you've taken the time to do that on top of your busy work as an attorney. So congratulations to you. Hope you're doing well. And as Coach Meacham would always say, beat it like a dead horse. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, well, so I've got one particular memory, and it's not that I'm sensitive about it at all, right? It's just Brian likes to bring it up. It's a game where he likes to talk about it as the Augie Shuffle, which was a game-winning shot that I made, and where he says that on that play I traveled. So that's the thing he likes to talk about, but there's actually two things about the story that he doesn't like to tell. One is that he was an observer in that game. He was actually sitting on the bench. I happened to be in the game. And then secondly, of all of the people that were on our team in the game, who was the guy that they gave the last shot to in the game winner? That happened to be me. So unfortunately for Brian, I don't think he's ever gotten that experience. I think that's just an absolutely amazing thing that Brian's doing, and keeping the memory of Matt Kudo alive. I mean, not only just from the standpoint of PCDS, but I think he's incredibly committed to it.
I have to think that when PCDS sends alumni out into the world, they're hoping that we find success and happiness, and that we're generous with our time and resources and community-oriented and philanthropic, and you're all those things. You're a great representation of our school, of our community. I know you're excited that your kids are now a part of the community as well. In all sincerity, as an outstanding alumni of the year recipient a few years ago, and sort of the proverbial passing of the torch, I can't be more excited for you, Brian. You're an absolutely amazing human being. You're an amazing part of the broader community, of the legal community, of the PCDS community, an awesome family man, and just otherwise a really, really good friend. And so I can't think of a better candidate and a more deserving, award recipient of the Outstanding Alumni of the Year than you, buddy. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Brian.
I'm so proud of you. So congratulations and cheers.
I just want to congratulate you again, and I'm going to let you know how proud I am of you, and the whole school actually is proud that you're the alum of the year.
Brian, aka Bri Ladies Man on AOL, if you knew him in the 90s. I'm so proud to call you my best friend, and nobody deserves this honor more than you. and I'm so proud of you, and congratulations.
On behalf of the PCDS Alumni Board, congratulations, Brian. This is so well deserved.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dad. We're so proud of you for being Alumni of the Year.